Thank you.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of SCZ Live. I am Shanae, and I'm so excited that you're back with us. We just talked to a teacher who said how much she loved the Facebook Lives and shared it with her students. So we hope that's something that all of you out there can continue to do and enjoy seeing the zoo in a different way. Today I'm here with Nancy Smith, who is our zoological manager in our North American section. And Nancy, you have some really exciting news for us about the Mexican wolves.
Yes, I do. We have 2 puppies that just turned 6 weeks old, and they actually got their first shots yesterday. And I can show them a picture. If you zoom in on a picture.
Okay, I can zoom in on a picture.
Because right now
they're being elusive.
They are not coming out, and so
let's see. Oh yeah,
there we go. There's one of them.
That'll work.
That's what they look like right now, and so they got their health check and shots yesterday, and they look really good. And they'll start coming out more and more as they get older.
I know, I saw them out here just yesterday, so that was exciting for me.
Yeah, it's hit and miss. They're usually down in a natural den that their parents dug for them, and it's really quite the den we discovered yesterday because we had to send our keeper Jessie down in it on her stomach with a
you never know what you're going to do as a zookeeper.
Exactly, and that puppy was a good 5 feet underground, down in the ground, and had to be pulled out that way.
So this is just one of those ways where we can show the importance of choice. Here at the Mexican wolf, I know a lot of people say, wow, I walk by here all the time and rarely see them. But this is such a nice big habitat for them, and they have the choice then to roam, to sleep in the den, to move around, which really helps prepare them then for any other types of programs or moves to other zoos, or even some of our other opportunities that we have with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Right, and that's what I was, the really, really super exciting news is that we were able to send 4 puppies from this litter.
So there were 6 puppies total.
There were 6 puppies total, and we were able to send 4 of them at the age of 2 weeks to be put in a wild wolf den to be raised as wild wolves. And so those puppies will grow up thinking they were born in the wild. They will be raised as wild wolves and get to experience life as they should have it.
Well, that's just conservation. That's 100% right there.
That's
what we're all about.
I've been telling people it can't get any better than that.
No.
It cannot get any better than that to actually have a breeding pair. They have puppies, and those puppies are actually placed in the wild. You can't top that.
It's goosebumpy.
Yeah.
So that wild mother, then I'm assuming she had some cubs of her own, some pups of her own.
Yes. What they do is they locate, the wild wolves are radio collared, and they track their movement, and these people are just amazing at what they do, and they can pinpoint the general area that the den must be based on the movement of the mother in that pack. And so all these things have to align for this to work. The puppies in the wild can't be any more than within a week's age of the puppies born in captivity. So the litters have to be born pretty close together. Then they have to be able to find two wild litters that are possibilities, not just one.
Okay.
Because they have to have a backup plan. And so right there you can see how it's already so hard for things to line up. And then there's all the logistics of air travel and how to get the puppies to the wild quickly, because they're only 2 weeks old, and they shouldn't be away from mom for very long. And this year COVID-19 put a new challenge on that, and fortunately there's a company called Lighthawk that donates their flying services to this program, And the 4 puppies we sent out got to fly straight from Wichita to New Mexico on a private plane, and arrived there safe and sound in I think it was just a 3-hour flight. They were met with experts who immediately assessed them and fed them and checked them over, and then they're driven to the staging site near the den, well, within probably an hour's hike of the den. And we're talking about
rough terrain.
Rough terrain, you know, about 7,000 feet altitude. It's
there's one of the adults now on the far edge of the fence.
Yeah. Yep. That looks like the daddy, Angus.
So really, you have to be pretty dedicated to be a scientist working with the Mexican wolf introduction program to be able to do all that and have all those pieces line up. And you know, this started back in February with us. If everybody remembers out there those really, really cold, bitter February days, well, we had a group of dedicated volunteers standing out here documenting when we saw recorded breeding of the wolves so that we could have the most accurate date of birth. And that was the first part of the plan, is we had to see that birth happen.
All that information was then sent to U.S. Fish and Wildlife in Arizona, and they keep in close contact, so they know what captive litters are potential cross-foster. It's called cross-fostering. And they keep in constant communication, and they have to be told immediately when we think mom has given birth, and then at some point they say yes or no. Yes, you're on deck, or no, it's not going to work out. And if you are on deck, because there's a couple litters out in the wild that would match, they have you go out when the puppies are about a week old to just do a quick count. That's all. We can't touch them or anything, and we go out, just do a quick count to make sure we have enough and that they're healthy. And you have to have more than 2 before there's mom. She's bouncing.
It's down there. Okay.
You have to have more than 2 puppies to qualify, because they'll never leave the zoo with less than 2.
Okay.
So you have to have more than 2. Then you report back, and if all that's still go, and we had 6. So
is that a big litter or an average?
An average.
Okay.
4, 5, 6 is pretty average. They can have up to 8 to 10 even, are really big litters. So they're doing bigger. They used to just do 2 pups at a time. Now they've had such success. They're putting 4 pups from a litter at a time, and so anyway, we didn't know till about just 2 or 3 days before it happened that it was all going to work, and that's what is the hard part, is it has to be it's
being able to react fast and have everything ready, which makes really an important of good communication and good coordination on our end. Now, is this the first time we've cross-fostered, or have we done that before?
We actually did it last year also. We sent 2 out last year as well. That time we were able to take them on a commercial flight, but this year we were spoiled, actually.
What a nice resource. Well, great way that a company can help with conservation.
Yes. So this works even more smoothly, because we didn't have to deal with commercial airlines and layovers and all that.
Now, you mentioned that the adult females are radio collared. Obviously, they can't radio collar the pups when they're young. Do they eventually, though?
Yeah, as soon as they've reached they're big enough, which I assume is probably around 6 to 9 months or so, they radio collar them if they're able to get their hands on them, so they can do future tracking. Anyway, so we sent these out. They had their pack they wanted to put them into, and they couldn't find the den.
Oh.
See, this is another thing. That's why they always have a backup plan. They could not find the den, and so they had to abort and go to plan B, and they found that den. And that den had can't remember. It had a large litter, so large that they put R4 in and they had to pull 2 from the wild litter, otherwise it'd be too much
for one mom.
For one mom. And then they took those 2 from the wild litter and put them in a captive litter.
In human care, okay.
Right. And what they do when they put them in there, they pull all the puppies out, the wild ones and the cross-foster ones, and they draw blood from all of them. They put transponder chips in all of them. I'm sorry, they might not draw blood. They put transponder chips in, and that might produce a little drop of blood. And they actually, they stimulate them to pee and poop, and they actually take the scent from that and rub it all over everybody. And then they even roll all the puppies in the same dirt.
Oh, so the smells
and they
are all
try
the
to
same.
make all the puppies smell the same. And then they put them all back in, and it has been amazingly successful.
That's great.
I don't think they even know of any times it has not been successful.
So the striking piece of that is Mexican wolf pups that were born in human care here at Sedgwick County Zoo are now roaming loose and free as wild Mexican wolves here in North America.
It does. It almost gives me goosebumps.
It's pretty cool.
So
now, we had a question earlier when we were getting ready about breeding, and the question was, do we breed them all the time? Or do we have recommendations or specific animals that we breed, and why do we breed some and not others?
Right. It's actually kind of rare to have a breeding pair because the requirements are so strict. The genetics of the mom and dad have to match up and create a healthy genetic match, and then there's the again, just the location, you know, getting this male to that zoo and this female to that zoo, and making the matches, hoping they pair well.
We did a great Facebook or SCZ Live all on the Species Survival Plan program and how that all worked. So as Nancy's saying this in a short period of time, we actually have a 12-minute video all on how this breeding program works, which is really important because people often just don't realize that having babies all the time isn't good. You really need to make sure you have those best genetic matches all the time.
You want to improve the genetics of the population as a whole, and that's why this cross-fostering is so important, is to get new genetics out there into the wild population, because that's the only way they can get new blood, so to speak. So
a couple people who've just jumped on. So we had 6 Mexican wolves born here at Sedgwick County Zoo on April 15th. I have to give a shout out to that date because it's my son's birthday as well. So Brett has the same birthday as our Mexican wolves here. Of those 6 then, 2 of those pups are still here, and 4 of those pups went to a wild den to be cross-fostered and to become part of a wild pack. So that's what Nancy and I have been talking about, is conservation at its finest. It's where we can really work with the breeding programs that we have here in human care and benefit those wild populations as well. So, Nancy, thank you so much for spending time with us today. This is really exciting news.
We're really excited about it.
I know you've been working with the Mexican Wolf Project almost in the whole 17 years I've been here.
Yeah, so, I've been working with them since they came to the zoo in '93. So
it's really exciting to start to see this come to fruition and really be a great conservation program. Even though we're open, know that we're still caring in a huge variety of ways, even in making sure that we can help those wild populations. Thanks again for joining us.